we can start talking about which one to choose to watch.
All right.
I think whether you are duo or not doesn't really matter. I think, especially if your duo is also like same elo as you, then it's like fine. Gold, silver is not big difference.
My duo in that game was actually platinum last season. I think he's gold this season. He hasn't played a lot, but that particular game. The only reason I linked that particular game is because I believe his MMR is still that of like a platinum player, but I was doing with him, so everybody in the game was of a higher skill level than what I'm
Yeah,
normally playing against.
I guess it would be good to watch that then because you're getting challenged the most there. I guess.
Right.
I think that
It
would be
was an
good.
older video though. Like I mean older in the sense of like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, but do you think that the mistakes that you did in that, do you think you fixed those? Because if you still do these mistakes, then it's still worth to watch it. But if you feel like
Okay.
you fixed them,
Whatever you
then
feel like is the best video. I linked 3 of them. One was against the first one I linked was against an Ezreal mid, which I just played super passive in the game in the early game because I've played against a lot of Lucian mids and
hmm
um, there's not a whole lot I can do against an Ezreal unless I get jungle ganks. The second one was against a Silas. I don't really remember how that game went. I do believe I won it, but and then the third game was obviously the game that I played with a duo friend.
yeah,
That was higher elo than me. But whatever video you think is best. So if you think the duo one would be good, then let's go over that one.
I think the duo one is the best just because it's probably the hardest game in terms of like enemy skill, and
Right. And
it's
it was
usually
against the Kiana mid, so I mean
yeah,
that's a difficult matchup for me anyway.
yeah, and it's also a matchup you're gonna be playing more. You're not gonna play the Ezreal matchup that often, so
I do lane against a lot of Silas's, but I don't seem to have too much trouble against Silas's in the mid lane, at least in silver.
yeah. I mean that matchup is meant to be like rather difficult for Ekko, just because if Salas like maxes W, he just out heals you in trades.
Right. I usually
Um,
just wait for him to use his abilities on CS or miss his second E, and then try to punish him as much as possible.
yeah, but that's where like the silver part comes in, right? Because if he's good, he wouldn't do that. You
Right.
know, he wouldn't just like troll and waste spells. Um, so let's start talking about like runes and summoners. You should 100% always have flash. I don't care that Ekko has his E to avoid stuff with. You will need flash. That's just how it is. Because if you jump in onto enemy mid, you will need flash. Like that's just how it is. They will flash away, and now you can't catch them. You know.
Okay.
And if you kill somebody, now enemy jungler comes, you will need to flash away. Um, if I'm playing versus Ekko, it is way harder to space and get away from an Ekko who has flash up. If Ekko doesn't have flash, his distance of travel is like from here to Eing here, and then if I'm inside of this radius, he can then E2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is his range. But if he now has flash, it is like so hard because now he can go all the way, you know?
Right.
So like even though yes, you are right that if I play Ekko safe, I don't need flash because I will just have E up and I will E away. But that's just not how it is. If you have to play like that because you don't have flash, that's bad. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pick and choose. You have to choose, do I want Ignite or do I want TP? You can't have both because you need to have flash.
Okay. This is
Um,
something I started doing recently since preseason. Um, I don't know. It's been kind of it's greedy, but all
I mean
right.
it's greedy and
I'll
like
start.
flash is just the best summoner spell in the game. That's just how it is. It's just OP, you know?
I think the
Like
only reason I started doing this is because I think I told you already. I've had coaching already in the past, and most coaches tell me I just in low elo I should use flash and ignite. And then, I hear other people saying that, oh, TP is really good because it allows you to have more presence on the map and, make plays. But obviously, I'm low elo, so most players aren't going to know how to play around that TP. So I felt like, well, if I had both, I could get, a lead with the ignite and also have, the presence of the map with the TP. Or if I need to get back to lane quickly, if I have to do like a bad recall, then. But of the two summoners, which obviously Flash would be one, what would the second one be?
Well, depends on matchup. So, for example, Ignite is going to help a lot versus certain champions. So, for example, Silas, it's very nice to have Ignite against, so you can reduce his healing.
Right.
That's pretty nice. Now, let's say you're playing versus something like a Seraph, he will usually poke you and bully you a lot, and he's usually going to have barrier or just be hard to kill. Right? So
Makes
having
sense.
teleport would make more sense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
While when I'm playing versus something like Zed and stuff, he's also going to have Ignite, so I can go Ignite and match it if I want. We need to understand that the reason why we go Ignite in low elo is not because Ignite is good. Ignite is a horrible summoner spell and it's really useless. Because by going Ignite, you're basically telling enemy, I want to kill you. Okay? And
Right.
saying that you want to kill them is fine if you're playing something like Talon, because that's what Talon does, it kills people. But Ekko is not strong in lane, so for somebody to die to Ekko in lane, they have to be bad. Now, obviously, low elo players are bad, so therefore we should go Ignite. But that doesn't mean it's good, you know? So we just need to understand that it's only good because it's low elo. Now, versus Zed, for example, Zed will have Ignite. So by you going Ignite, he's not going to have teleport lead over you. So if you want to go Ignite versus stuff like Zed, I don't think that's that bad, especially when it's low elo. But I think going Ignite versus something like Anivia is really troll. So here having teleport is good. Reason why Ignite versus Anivia is troll is because Anivia is really good at team fighting, right?
Right.
How do we deal with team fighters?
Flank them.
Yeah, flank them, what else?
Side lane, split push,
Yeah,
draw pressure
exactly.
away from the,
How do we
the
do
main
that?
group.
You teleport, right?
Right.
So, basically, versus these kind of champions, right? Like, control mage kind of champions, like Lux, for example, as well. I think Ignite is useless, because one, these champions should not die to you in laning phase. Agree?
Right.
They could die to you later on. And I think if you kill them later on, it is not because of Ignite. Right? It is because you caught them and they're just gonna die. So, and the thing is, let's say you do kill them. That doesn't really do much, because if you kill a Zed, it's way different than killing an Orianna. Orianna will still be useful from behind. Zed will not be. Right?
Right.
These champs really want to just group and just sit mid. So if you have TP and you force them to start answering you in side lane, these champs lose a lot of value. So TP flash in these lanes is very good, because then we can split push, and we can also TP back when they are bullying us, and Ignite is not really gonna save you. You will have obviously times where maybe you're fighting somebody and the guy flashes away and lives with 10 HP. Sure, sucks, wish we had Ignite, but that is not gonna win you the game anyways. In the end, the goal of League is to kill their Nexus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I seem to see teammates in Silver not understand.
Yeah, but then again, I will never lose a game in Silver. So I think you can take their Nexus yourself. And I think that in games like this, TP will help more with that. Then you can TP flank, you can help your side lanes. Because you shouldn't play to really try to kill these guys. Obviously, like, if they are trolling in lane and they do mistakes, then yeah, you will punish them. That's just how it is. That's easy. But your main goal is just to push this and assume that they're not going to int, so that you can roam and win the map. And then if they do int, then obviously you kill them.
Sorry, can you hear that blender in the background? My wife's...
No, I cannot.
Like, okay, good.
It's like a little bit, but it's like not anything big.
Great.
Now these kind of matchups, they will always have Ignite. So if you go TP, you are at a disadvantage in terms of damage. I still think you are favored in terms of the game, because I'm a very big fan of TP, I think it's OP. But because this is low elo, these guys will int on these champs. So having Ignite is not that bad. And it's, like I said, it's not like they're going to have TP advantage over you because you have Ignite, because they will also have Ignite themselves. And there's a lot more fighting going on in these lanes than mage matchups. Okay?
Yep.
So yeah. Basically go both, but change based on matchup. When it comes to runes, the domination tree is very, very simple. Yeah. So all of this is fine. It's just that we have two choices when it comes to second tree on Ekko. Well, we have three choices. One would be precision for tenacity, and then the other one would be what you have here, and then the third one would be inspiration. So if you're going corruption potion, I think you need inspiration for DMATs, otherwise you cannot actually kill minions. When you go Dark Seal start or D-Ring start, you end up having enough AP that you don't need DMATs to kill the caster minions with your Q. So basically, if you think you're allowed to start D-Ring or Dark Seal in your lane, then you can go sorcery. Okay? I think that some lanes will be really, really hard. Like, let's say, maybe like a Zoe early on will be very aggressive, or Lucian, right? Tristana.
Right.
So in those lanes, I would be a little bit scared about doing something like Dark Seal refillable. So maybe in those lanes...
I usually go corrupting potion, or in those cases, I would go inspiration as the secondary.
Yeah.
With DMAT as one of the abilities.
Yeah.
Just because they're gonna try to poke me as much as they can.
Yeah. So I would go like DMAT and free boots. Because Time Warp Tonic is really shit rune, and it's bad on Ekko.
Yeah, they nerfed it really bad. I used to use boots and futures market for a long time, actually, and I think I even watched a video where you coach Max Key, and you had recommended that to him. And
yeah, futures market is OP rune.
Yeah, just because like if I'm behind, I can still be in the game, be valuable because I'll be able to get items that I wouldn't have been able to get.
Yeah, the only issue is just that, like I said, Ekko needs a very specific AP threshold to one-shot creeps at level 7. If you cannot do that, then you're gonna be 2 minutes in the game just not being able to push and roam, and that's really, really bad. So we gotta play to make sure we can one-shot creeps on Ekko.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, because I was doing this, I think, a little bit in the preseason, and I was actually having a lot of success with it, was using precision as the secondary, and then it wasn't the Zalai band build where I used the Legend of Tenacity and Legend of
Presence of Mind.
the one that gives you mana back. I can't remember the name.
Presence of Mind. Yeah.
Presence of Mind. Yeah. I was using Presence of Mind. I'm sorry.
You went attack speed or what?
No, I went coup de grace against squishy teams, and it seemed like I was popping off. Going like 24 and 2, or just on average, that was kind of like the KD score in those games. But
yeah, but I really don't think you went 24 kills because of coup de grace. Because let's say coup gave you 30 damage on a kill, right?
Okay.
Don't you think that absolute focus AP would give the same or more?
Probably so.
And then
that was the thing. Like, I always question that, and that's why I stopped doing it, because I would look at the recap or whatever, the scoreboard, and I'd look at the damage, the bonus damage that coup de grace actually gave, and I'd look at the score and be like, okay, I'm only getting like 430 or 600 bonus damage according to what it's telling me. Yeah, so I guess you're right. I guess that had nothing to do with why I was popping off in those games.
I think you just popped off, and it's just a coincidence that you change your rune in the same game. Like I said, I think precision is good on Ekko, but only for the tenacity. Right. And then you just go presence of mind because nothing else is good. So. And
the only time I take the Legend tenacity and presence of mind is if there's like a CC heavy comp that
like really
I know I'm gonna get locked down.
Yeah, like Lissandra Mumu kind of combo.
Exactly.
So I think your runes are relatively safe and normal. So I think this. Let me find the game. Here it is. I think it's this one.
You're probably gonna want to mute the game sound because I think I was playing music in this game.
That's okay.
I think I even pulled up the op.gg before the game. Usually I do that on my second monitor, but
it's okay.
So first off, I just want to say that because this was like a month ago and it was like before one of my later coaching sessions, like I still have nameplates on, and I know like that's bad to have on. So I do have that turned off now.
Yep, that's good. I think everything else setting-wise looks good. Like, you have spell cost on to see mana and stuff. That's good.
Everything's quick cast.
Yeah.
I stopped going here and I started going into the bottom or the top river bush, because I know that I think it was the ha coaching video that you did recently. You were talking about that.
Yeah, like walk
About
here.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
because it gives the same amount of vision.
Yeah. It's just better because if you run straight here from start of the game, you will spot a guy here, or you will not spot him.
Yeah, if they're trying to invade through the mid lane.
And if you spot them here, well, then you obviously back off. If you don't spot them, you just run into here, and you would see somebody run into here. So,
Right.
But yeah, I also think you walk up way too early. Because, look, whole point of warding like this is to ward as this guy is going to his lane or to leash.
Right. And I agree with you there, because usually what I would do is I would wait till 122 and then ward right there between that, I guess that, the two rocks. So I have vision of the raptors and that whole pathing area. But then after my coaching session with Maxkey, he told me that I should do it around like 113, which I thought was wrong, but I didn't disagree with him because, you know, he's obviously higher ranked than me, but I felt like it was too early because people are still there. He said something about like, because I get to lane slower, and if it's like somebody like a Yasuo and they fast push, then they're going to push me under tower. But I didn't agree with it, but that's what he told me, so I started doing it earlier than I was doing it before. Like, if you look at the other mods,
if you go 122 right here, you'll be here in lane at like 126 or something, 128.
Right, I've never felt like I've had a problem getting back to lane.
Yeah. So the only thing that makes it awkward is if they have something like a LeBlanc that can like auto you, and she's standing right here as you're re-entering. But if you're that unlucky,
that was his point, was that if he was already standing in the bush, then I would get into an auto trade with like a Yasuo, and then that would be bad for me because he wins.
Yeah, but the thing is, you would know if they're there. So like let's say, so I'm standing in this bush. Now it's 122, I'm leaving it, and I go ward. Now minions are here, giving vision. So I would know if they're here. So if I see enemy mid stand bot side, then I will run into lane. If I see enemy mid stay top side, I can just like run around like this. I'm not gonna contest level 1 push anyways as fucking Ekko.
Right.
I'm like the most useless level 1 champ in the game. I'm only good at auto in melee form. Right? If I'm against LeBlanc or Orianna or something, I'm not gonna contest level 1 push.
No, I would wait till level 3 to try to make a trade.
Yeah. Because this will just get you killed. So.
Right. And Kale there is AFK, not paying attention, so.
Yeah, I mean, even if she wasn't, she cannot do anything to save you.
So this mid laner, I looked up their thing. They were platinum last season and gold this season, but I believe this Kiana was auto-filled, so.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't focus on those things, because whether this guy's filled or main role or whatever, it doesn't matter. Because the only thing you're looking at is how does he play when you're playing. You shouldn't treat him with respect, because if you're looking at this, if you saw this guy was 90% win rate Smurf, you would be playing different probably. You know?
Makes sense.
But you shouldn't play different because he's a Smurf. You should play different because he's doing the right things.
Right.
Like, that's the only thing that matters. You shouldn't come into the mindset here knowing, oh, this guy's autofilled, I'm going to stomp him, and then you go and you fight him when it's probably bad to fight. So we should just like look at what he's doing in the game. That's the only thing that matters.
Okay.
Because it's really unhealthy to like come into this game now and have like an assumption that, oh, this guy's filled, so I'll just fight him. Because that tells me that if he now was main role Smurf, you'd probably respect him.
Right. Well, I didn't know he was filled. That wasn't until after the game that I saw that.
Yeah, but
I just knew he was gold.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He could be a challenger, and it doesn't matter. If he wastes his Q on a minion, you're now allowed to walk up and auto him. Doesn't matter if he's fucking faker or what he is. It's just how the game works. Does he have corruption potion or longsword? It's like always a thing you need to check, because enemy can do a lot of weird starts. I've seen like everything from D-Blade to Longsword Refillable, Longsword Triple Potion, Corruption Potion. Does she have Biscuit? I don't know what she has, right? But
This Kiana didn't have anything at the start of the match. I don't know if she was trolling or thought that she was going to just steamroll me and didn't need to buy something. I don't know. Or I think she was just trolling.
Then the thing is, when you enter lane here, the first thing you should always do is either click on him or press tab.
Mm-hmm.
Either one works. Clicking on him gives you also the advantage of checking if they have armor or MR, which can be nice. So I guess clicking is the best. I just press tab out of habit, but clicking would be the best. And then you just look here, and you just see, okay, he has longsword refillable. What does this mean? Well, this means he does a little bit more damage, but he has less sustain. Okay, he has corruption potion and biscuits. Okay, he has a lot of sustain. I don't have a lot of sustain. So I should be careful about sustained fight. I should do burst trades, but I should not keep fighting. You get it?
Makes sense.
Because if he has 0 items right now, I think that your spacing is really bad. Because if he does the mistake now to Q this minion, you can't punish because you're so far away. Kiana's Q range, without the elements, because then it extends, her normal Q range is like here.
Okay.
So perfect spacing from you would be standing like here, walking back and forth, and then if she walks up to you, you could Q her or you could walk away. That's your choice. My point is, by being this close to her, if she Qs, you can now walk up, take position, and if she stays, you can also Q auto her. You can look for trades. So I don't like that when you're waiting for creeps to get low, you're standing so far away versus somebody that has this as their range.
Okay, I think that was just because I didn't know her Kiana's Q range.
Yeah, but you've never seen a Kiana use her little dagger thing and have it go like to here, right?
Right.
So even though you might not know the exact, like this is around her exact, so maybe you wouldn't stand here because you're not exactly sure, that's fine. But you should at least stand like here, because there's no way it'll reach you here, right? Because you played versus Kiana before.
Right.
And you should try to get a feel out of champions' ranges. You shouldn't be afraid of like losing a laning phase if you lost it because you were trying something. Because you need to learn. That's the goal. Because if you're just mindlessly playing, then it's going to be hard to just climb.
And that was the biggest feedback I was receiving from previous coaches, was that at this point I need to start limit testing myself.
Yeah, because like right now, like I'm just seeing her trolling. Like if you look at Kiana, there's auto attack Q. There she Q'd.
But and I couldn't punish her because I used my Q already.
Yeah, you just Q a minion when she didn't even contest you. When you could probably have Q'd her and the minion and seen what to do after. Always try to push up for an auto attack on her before you do this, so you can try to do auto Q auto. Because the thing is, if she retaliates and tries to fight back, she's forced to take your second Q. You know? People, like, when you're playing Ekko, here, if you just walk up to her and cast Q and try to auto her, if she does the same, she will take second Q.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to try to auto her. You can't just Q and click away. Because see how she has to move to the side?
Right, if I would have moved to the side, then I could have autoed her again.
Yes.
And then proc my passive.
Yes. And this is why it's important to know what items does she have, because if we do a very even trade, it is not really going to be worth it when she has Ignite and we have Ignite, but she has Biscuits and Corruption Potion. Obviously, in this case, she has 0 items, right? So you should obviously trade no matter what. But I'm saying in a different one where she has Corruption Potion and Biscuits, then this trade can be very risky to do, even though it's like kind of favored for you. Because if you don't kill her soon, she will just out-sustain you. While if she has longsword refillable, you guys are even on sustain, then this trade is very good. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now she wastes Q again.
Yeah, so she was trolling. No items.
Yeah, I mean, I see it now. But, yeah. Now Kiana is a lot stronger than what she was earlier. It's a little bit crazy. So like,
yeah, I messed up that trade.
but when we think about trades, it's like, why do we trade? We don't just trade for fun. You know, trading is not something you do because you got bored and stuff.
Well, for me, as Ekko, I always try to do quick trades, get them low to where, you know, I can either tower dive them or go for the ignite finish, you know.
Yeah. I mean, quick trades is what Ekko is known for and good for.
Right.
It's just when we want to trade, we should look for something. We should think, okay, what champion am I playing against, right? Like, when is the best time to trade versus a Kiana? A Kiana, the best time to trade versus her is right after she picked up her element.
Mm-hmm.
Because then her W is on cooldown. Have you played Kiana?
Maybe once in a normal game.
Yeah.
Just because I got stomped by one in a ranked game and wanted to know what her abilities were.
Yeah. So, like, basically, like, how she wants to play is she wants to pick up an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Now she can cast that ability. If she gets her W back up, she can pick up a new one and go again. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when she does what she did right now, she's very weak. Okay?
Okay.
So if you want to trade, you should jump right now.
See, I guess I didn't have an understanding of Kiana because I thought when she did that jump, that was when she was her strongest. So that's just a clear not understanding of the character.
I mean, if you look here, she likes to be able to do QWQ combo. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look here, this is her W. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So 7 seconds. So I think, like, obviously the trade is fine, and yes, like you said, you misplayed it. But that's okay. A trade, the decision to trade here isn't bad, because the reason why it went bad is because you executed wrong.
Mechanics.
So, yeah, but the thing is, I'm wondering, why didn't we trade right now? See? Right now we got level 2 with Q up. Why didn't we dash in now? Because if we dashed in now, then she wouldn't have W up. It will be on like 2-second cooldown. And it would be a better trade.
I don't know, old man reflexes.
Yeah, but like, that's not even about reflexes, you know? Because it's just about...
I wasn't thinking about
Yeah.
it. I mean, that's the honest
not
truth.
something...
I didn't see it. I didn't know what to look for.
Yeah. Because when I see Kiana pick up element, I'm like, okay, right now, if a fighter, she can only stun me once. You know? Kiana also gets bonus damage when she swaps out elements.
Right.
So, like, if she uses ice element now, and then she combos you, and then she does rock after, the rock deals more damage because the new element. Okay?
Right.
So she loses a lot of damage not being able to W. That's why here your entire mindset should be, okay, get level 2 and jump on her right now because she has no W. If you did that, then you would win the trade much easier. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Because she misplayed there. She should have done rock Q after her stun. Then you would have taken more damage too. But she did double ice because his first time or something. So like now he's useless. Now it's like even worse because now he has no Q and no W. So if he now walked up, you should fight, even if you don't have Q. Because it's that useless. Now he has Q back up. And now he has W back up. Oh my god, what are you doing? Look. What do you think your mindset should be right now?
I have a perfect freeze opportunity right here, and I break it by queuing the wave.
We don't have a freeze. Why don't we have a freeze?
Oh, wait, no. It's an even number. Wait, let me see. 3, 7. No, I have more minions.
Yeah, so you have even creeps, but it's on your side.
Right.
Which means it's going to bounce into her. It's going to push into her slowly. Okay? We can realize this already here, right now. Once you realize that she kills this minion, and you see that these minions now are going to meet here.
Right.
It is going to bounce into her. The reason why is because you see how all of these minions are focusing this one?
Mm-hmm.
they will all start to focus this now, before this one wave is even hitting. Look now. See that?
Okay, yeah.
See how all of yours are hitting this one,
Right.
while these ones are
So
not
it's
even
going to
hitting.
kill off. It's going to kill
Yes.
off their.
Yeah, and
Creating
then
a
you will
slow
have a
push.
creep lead. And then the next wave, the one after this one, is going to get here before theirs will, because it's on your side. And this is what's called a bounce back. So when we think about waves, you have bounce back, which is this. You have like even in the middle. You have a bounce into you, right? When it's bouncing to you, that's when you can freeze. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So right now, we have the choice to either 1, hard shove, or 2, slow push. So, hard pushing costs us mana. It means that if she comes back now, then you have spells on cooldown, and then she should obviously fight you, right?
Right.
So if she fights you while you're pushing into her, now she has a freeze. You get it?
Makes sense. So, I mean, in this specific situation, I think, like, I saw her go into the side bush. I didn't know where she was. I pinged her MIA. I saw this minion wave coming in. I was thinking either she's roaming early or she's getting her cheater recall off.
Look your gold.
Yeah, so she's I don't know. I don't know what she was doing. I think she types in chat that she forgot to buy items or something.
Yeah, but you decided to push right now.
Right.
So like my point is that right now, what do you do if she now just pops out of the bush and says hello? Right? Then she just trims the wave and now you're pushing harder for no reason.
Right.
So we should only hard push this now if for sure she is roaming or missing. So what I mean by that is, yes, you can assume that she's in base because she left the lane and she didn't buy items. So she has like 600 gold right now. So yes, it's safe to assume she is in base. But I don't think that that's really why you did this. I think you're just thinking about the fact that she's missing and you just want to push. Which is bad because if she's missing because she wants to ward now and she comes back, then you've just used mana to achieve nothing.
And then she can freeze on me.
Yeah. So here, we should only hard push now is if 100% she will be gone and you'll be able to crash. So let's say you see her on the ward here roaming bot lane. Yes, you hard push. Let's say Shaco is on crab right now. Like let's say crab is up. Shaco is on crab and you know Kiana's going there. Yeah, you hard push so that she loses the entire wave and you can get her reset off. That's fine. But if we don't have full info, we should just slow push. Okay?
Okay.
And also, obviously, if you're pushing, we should Q the entire wave. Because, like, now you're just wasting spells. And you're trying to, like, hold the wave here when it's not even, like, a freeze. So, like, now you're, like, and we still haven't, like, crashed the wave. So now Kiana should come back now in, like, 5 to 10 seconds. And she's gonna collect all the CS and... Yeah, I don't know. You should not group like this. You should just crash and then go. If I'm Kiana, I trim the minion wave right now, and I'll freeze on you. Okay?
Okay.
So there's no point to join this until you've secured your lane. Like I said, you should, of when you decide to push, just push way faster. Like the W that you did is really useless. You should only do that if you're actually going to be freezing and you need to stun them.
Mm-hmm.
But like here, just Q the entire thing and just push. Because if Shaco ends up living now because of your help, 90% of the time, you being there 3 seconds later would still save him. Okay?
Okay.
So it's just important that you make sure your lane is in a good state first. Okay, she's dead too. What is she doing? Shaco's Q back up now. Why did she flash? Crazy. Don't TP, man.
Yeah, troll here. And she ends up dying to the tower. So I wasted my TP.
And this is what I mean with like the whole wave thing. If you were thinking about your mini wave, you would never want to TP here. Look. Look here. We left the wave when it's slow pushing into enemy. So that's really bad. So, like I said, we should have pushed it faster so it would crash, and then none of this would matter. But when you leave your wave, your lane in this state, when it's slow pushing into enemy, you really don't want it to remain slow pushing into them. So, we did this play. You should not forget how your wave is. So right now, when you kill this guy, when you're recalling now, take a look at mid lane. Did Qiyana start pushing it back to you, or is it still pushing into her? So like, just look for 1 second now, and you will see that it's gonna push into enemy. So what I want now is that you TP to mid lane, crash this. Look how much CS there is here for Qiyana to farm.
Right. So I would TP mid for that in this case, even if it's slow pushing like that. Like I wouldn't just run back to lane.
No, because you'd lose this entire wave.
Okay.
You would lose this entire wave, and you would slow down the time it takes for it to crash. Qiyana is now dead for 40 seconds, right? Regardless of actually dying. My point is, like, let's say she kills Ekko and somehow makes it out alive here, right? Then she still has to base, she has to walk to the recall, she'll have to walk back in lane. That'll take her 40 seconds. Okay? If you TP to me now, you hard push this wave, you will get an entire plate, you will deny her 2 to 3 waves, you can go invade Lee Sin if you want, you can go dive bot lane, you can do a lot of things. While now, even if you get the kill, it is not worth it because you TP'd for basically 140 gold. You didn't get 300 gold for the kill, you got 140 because the wave you lost in mid.
Well, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
I could have had a level or 2 advantage over the Qiyana because this is what super early in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have already been in lane right now, one-shotting this wave. By one-shotting this wave, you would now be able to roam to top lane. You'd be able to dive bot lane. This is what matters. Killing Qiyana over here because she's running into Africa does not matter. Yeah, so here we had the choice. You chose to push, and choosing to push for fun is bad. So what I mean is that, again, this is going to bounce into you now, right? This is what we talked about. It's the same concept when Qiyana crashed a wave here, and it's going to bounce into her. This is the same thing. You crash wave into her, it's going to bounce to you. So we have a choice now. Do I want to freeze, or do I want to push? So the things that will make us want to push is, maybe I want to quickly recall. But if I wanted to recall, I could have just recalled now, when I see the wave crashes, right? Here I could recall if I wanted to.
But what would be the point of recalling? I mean, I had 41 gold.
Exactly.
I just came from base.
Yeah, so we're not placing. So that reason is not true. Okay, do I want to roam? Well, then you should be looking at top lane. You should be looking at bot lane. You know?
Right.
Because the best.
Well, I was bot lane was shoved under the enemy tower, so I don't have. I'm not level 6, so I'm not going to die.
That doesn't mean anything though. You shouldn't think about it like that because if your bot lane is pushing enemy in the turret, don't you think Lee Sin wants to gank them right now? Like if I'm Lee Sin, I see enemy bot lane pushing. I see Kai'Sa 200 HP. I want to gank that shit.
Okay.
So we could push and roam bot lane. But the thing is, I think if you did that when I said it, that's why the TP was so good. If you here TP'd mid, then you could have pushed and run straight bot. Okay? But you chose to TP top, so we can't do that. So my issue is that by the time you've killed this cannon wave now, the only play that you can do, which is counter gank bot lane, by the time you've done kill this, the Lee Sin's already gank bots. Do you get it? It'll take you too long to push this now. So what we should do instead is we should just let it push to us. You know? I am double buff Ekko right now. I have 4 stacks Dark Seal and a Blasting Wand. What is Qiyana gonna do when I now get level 4 and the wave will be here? Right?
She can't do anything.
Exactly. So why would you help her? Because by doing what you're doing now, you're helping her. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You went from now having a big wave, and you also lose it now. You went from having a big wave pushing to you, to now not having it push to you anymore. Now it's just going to be like a clean reset. And like, oh, well, I predicted it perfectly. You would be too late for this.
Yeah.
Because to me, it doesn't make sense how a 200 HP Kai'Sa will get to stay alive for an entire minute. Right? Either she will die or she'll get a base off. That's just how it works. So pushing this and then roaming makes no sense because you would be too late always. So just understand what's the best for my lane. And then ask yourself, is it worth to give that up? That's what you have to understand here. When you're running back to lane, look at the wave state. And you'll see, okay, it's going to crash. This means I have the option to freeze. Do I want to freeze? Okay, I can gank bot lane, but it'll be too late.
So if I didn't touch this wave and I ran straight bot lane, would that have been the better decision?
Then you would make it there in time, but you would lose this entire wave because Qiyana would just crash this. But it wouldn't be horrible. It would just be coin flip.
I mean, the best scenario is I TP'd mid, shoved the wave, then roam bot lane.
Yes, that would be the best.
But I took that option away since I TP'd top for what I thought was a free kill.
Yes, but the thing is that you need to understand it was probably a free kill in a different game. But even if you got that kill, it's bad. You know? Because it's not a kill. It's 150 gold.
100, right.
Because we lost the wave in mid. And the wave in mid also gives us a chance to counter gank bot lane. And it also gives us a chance to get a plate. Now if we got the plate, now it's all of a sudden more than a kill. That's 310 gold that we got in mid. The wave and the kill. It creates opportunities. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at this point here, you should realize none of these creeps are dying. So I'll just go boss side here, drop a ward. Because it's important that while we're freezing, we don't die. If we die while freezing, we lose a lot. If you push this wave now, and now let's say you die, that doesn't matter as much. But if you freeze and die, it loses. You lose so much. So, but now Qiyana, I'm really happy because the fed as fuck Ekko has no way of killing me. Because what a freeze does is, if enemy has, let's say, like 6 minions, and then you have like 4 and it's pushing towards you, your creeps are dying first, and they have to overextend for the minions. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are stronger, you will just kill her if she goes for minions. So now what happens if she doesn't get gold? If she doesn't get gold at level 4 in-game, she loses the game, basically. Because if you're freezing and she's like level 8 and stuff, that's not that bad for her because she can actually easily roam right now. But a level 4 Qiyana can't do much. But here I just think you're like trolling around and just wasting time. Because these roams are just coin flip.
Right. And I'd straight up just grief at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're just wasting time. Because what you're doing here, you could achieve in mid lane, but guaranteed.
I just gave Lee or Jen a big, shutdown gold on me? Yeah.
Yes. So it's like what makes us think that this is a good roam. Because it's already a bad roam for my lane. Because my roam timer was, like you said, here. Here I could run and kill top lane here, if I wanted to. See? If you run top lane here, you will not lose a single creep in mid. Make sense?
Yeah, I guess that's the other question I had is, since I was already top side, should I have just gone up and tried to help
I don't know, because you don't look.
Poppy? I didn't look, and I don't know what her HP is.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's the root of the entire problem, is that you need to be aware of what's going on. Because I can't tell you to go top here. I don't know what's going on. Right? I don't even know if Poppy has flash, because you are like unaware. But the main thing is I don't want to roam if I lose my lane from it. Right? Unless it's guaranteed. So we need to understand when this wave crashes, I'm allowed to roam until this wave reaches my turret. Once it reaches my turret, then now I'm starting to lose things for doing my roam. But this roam will never be bad now, because even if I run to top and I don't get anything, I can still make it back in time to my lane. Make sense?
Yeah. So I had a question. Is it better to use the mini map and clicking to look around the map, or is it better to use like the F1 through 4 function row?
Yeah. So
I used to play a lot of StarCraft 2, and that's how I would look
Yeah.
around the map quickly at other bases. Was I would bind points on the map or bases to quickly switch between expansions and in my main base using my function row. And that's something I haven't really done in this game, but maybe I should
it's for
start.
sure very normal in StarCraft, and it's getting really normal in League as well. And yeah, you can use both, but the thing about F key is it will show, if you F key to Kayle, it'll show this, which is good. But you should use both. Sometimes you'll need to use a minimap because you're looking at enemy and not at your teammates. But when you want to see Kayle's lane state, here, then F-king to Kayle is good, yes. But in the end, do what's most comfortable for you, but it would be the best if you're comfortable doing both.
Okay.
Because you'll have times here where you just want to see Jin's HP bar and Kai'Sa Nami's here. It doesn't help to F-key to Kai'Sa Nami. You need to F-key, not F-key, you need to click on Jin. So both is needed.
Okay.
Because everything about this is bad. Because now, 1, you remove the chance of snowballing your lane. 2, you're also not helping your team. So we're doing horrible. Because if we're not going to help our team, we should be stomping our lane. Because now you should realize, well, now I've decided I'm going to roam bot, and I'm going to lose a wave for it. So what I think is fine is looking. I think looking is very important in League. So moving it to fog here, dropping ward, it's good. Taking a little quick look at bot, it's good. So now, we need to understand, if I commit to this roam, I will lose this wave. Not only will I lose that wave, I'll also give Qiyana a roam timer of her own. So whatever I see here has to be worth it. So if I see Lee Sin face check here with no flash, yeah, I think it's worth it. If I see this fresh, walk up to here or walk into this, yeah, I think it's worth it. But if they run away from me here, then I'm not gonna go. So now I see fresh run away, then I'm gonna go back to mid. You know?
Yeah.
Because
in this game, I recognize I screwed up by making this play. I think I even typed out like my bad. Like,
yeah, but sure. But how do we realize that for future, right? That's what I'm trying to do, because it doesn't really matter if you realize it just in this game, right? Like, I bet you're still gonna make this mistake. We just need to understand that
because I'm low elo and I don't think about these things.
As soon as you get to this point here, they see you, right?
Right.
So my point is, if Fresh is here, it doesn't matter if he sees you, he's dead. But if he's gonna be here now, because you see him running away, and he sees you, he has to choose to die, right?
Right.
And if he chooses to die, he should do that in a way where it's good for them. So I would never commit to this roam now, because what should always happen is you run here, and 1, he runs away, and now you lost away for no reason. Or 2, he kills himself on purpose, which should be good, because otherwise why would he kill himself, right? So looking is fine. You pushed, which is still horrible. We should have frozen there, because there is realistically nothing you can do on the map here. And you can fist stomp Qiyana, because, well, you have double buff and like 100 AP. But we chose not to do that. Okay, sucks. At least we went for vision and a roam timer. That's good. We look bot, and we see, okay, they're not inting, so now we go back mid. Instead, you are committing even though they're not inting. That's the problem. Because you decided here, I'm roaming no matter what. When the correct way to view this is, I will be looking, and if they int, I will commit. And then you see, oh shit, Fresh is running away, and Lee Sin's walking safe path. Okay, I'll go back to mid now. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Because if after every wave that we push, we keep looking like this, you will get kills. If you now just went back to mid lane, push this, you could do the exact same looking that you just did. You could go back looking at bot lane, or you could go and look top lane. But like this, forcing it is so fucking horrible.
In this game, do you think I should ever even look at top lane with a Poppy being? Because I feel like I just can't kill Poppies. Like, they're just too fucking tanky.
I mean, you can't kill Poppy in Fury. But Kayle can also poke Poppy, and then Poppy gets low.
True.
Poppy can all-in Kayle, and now they're fighting, and then you kill her. That's again why we need to look. Right? If you have a Teemo who's against a Malphite, you might think, oh, Malphite's really tanky, I can't kill Malphite. Sure, that is true. But Teemo should be able to poke Malphite. Right? Teemo should be pushing versus Malphite. If Malphite is getting pushed, he's under turret. If he's low, you dive him. Right? So...
Makes sense.
In the end, it's all about looking. Because the issue is, this cannon wave is 530, which is the one you're meant to get 6 on. And you're 4.5. Right. And now look at your score. You're 3-1. Do you see how useless kills are?
Mm-hmm.
You need to get in mind that kills are fucking useless. They're like those little golden stars you get from your teacher in like kindergarten school. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it feels good. Like, you look at this, you're like, wow, I'm 3 kills, I'm smurfing. No. Qiyana is ahead of you.
Yeah, she's ahead of me in experience and CS.
And this is after you got gifted double buffs, you know? So, like, that's what I mean. So just really get in the mindset of these random kills I'm getting is so useless. So, like, here again, right? Watch now. You do a huge chunk on her.
Mm-hmm.
Look miniwave now. Look what she does now. Whose cannon is lower HP?
Mine.
Right. So we have the choice here to freeze or we can push. So we need to understand, if we push now, it has to be for a reason. I think you should push because you can dive her. Okay? With Ignite in 30. And if she bases now and I push, she loses the same amount as if I was freezing anyways. But my point is, I don't think that's why you are pushing. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say Qiyana now is this HP and this mana. I would never push this now. Unless something in the map means I have to push. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Because here, like, hitting this now is bad, because this one would die now, and then these minions would start to focus this, and you would deny her entire cannon wave. But pushing because she's low is good. But then I want you to dive her. So let's see what we're doing. No, we are not diving her. So then why did we do this?
I think I go to put a pink ward in that bush on their side of the jungle.
You think Lee Sin's gonna solo kill you?
Well, I wanted to know if Lee Sin was... It would give me vision if Lee Sin was in the river trying to do dragon or do scuttle crab.
Yeah, but I don't care about it because he can't solo kill me. Right? If Qiyana goes on me, she's dead. I agree?
True.
Okay. So then Lee Sin will have to solo kill me then for me to need vision. Lee Sin, I solo killed him earlier on in the game, so he should be level 4 right now. Maybe he's level 5. He's not level 6. So yeah, I agree. Before diving somebody, setting up vision is good. Issue is, if I'm Qiyana and I see you missing now, what will I do to this wave?
Freeze it.
Well, I'm 10 HP, so no, I would kill it and recall.
Okay.
But point is, yes, she can do something to it. I don't want to give her the choice to do something with the wave, because the entire reason why I'm pushing here is to dive her. Right? Why would I need vision of
so
this
I wasn't thinking about diving her.
Yeah. This pink, move it here instead. Because this entire wall is blocking like half of this vision. So like, this pink is just in general useless unless you're gonna sit here and make a pick.
The only reason I started putting pinks in that bush there is because I found that it doesn't get cleared as often as if I put it in the pixel bush.
Yeah, but the thing is, if people are clearing your pinks, they're doing that instead of doing something else. So it's not really an issue. So yeah, she went from being diveable to now nothing. So now we should freeze, because by the time you kill this and next wave, she's back in lane. So Let's see what you choose to do. Nice. Yeah, she's pretty doomed now. Yeah, so it's good. So we just need to realize now, what was the last info we had on her? Look, last information, she has 0 potions, 0 biscuits, 10 mana. Do you think that she can roam now?
No, she has to base.
Is there any honey fruits up? No. So if she goes missing now, she's basing. So
I mean, unless there's one of those plants on.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If there's any honey
jungle
fruits,
side, yeah.
But there's not. That's what I mean. So one important thing to note is we need to keep vision of her. This is important because imagine you're Kale now. You see Poppy is crashing a big wave, and then you look at your minimap and you see Kiana missing. She doesn't have the same information that you have. She doesn't know Kiana's doing stuff. So it's important to keep vision of Kiana. So what I mean by that is, right now, instead of walking away, it is better if you walk up like this to see her, pull the wave down into where you have vision. Okay? This also makes her lose minions faster. Because no, that does not make you tank minions, because as you can see, you have to tank minions now. So I would rather have you tank minions here, keeping vision of the Kiana, and telling her hello, and then walk down here. That way you take like around same amount of HP, but you make the wave be more here, which means you will deny her more minions faster, because it'll push faster. Okay?
Okay.
And you will also keep vision of her more. Make sense?
Makes sense. I didn't think about that.
You might
I didn't
even
realize
be able...
that if it was in the center, that they die faster.
Yeah, you might also be able to cancel her recall too, because some people like recall like randomly here and stuff. So you might also be able to cancel recall. So here freezing is good because she has no other play to make than to recall, and also we have no gold, so we can't base. But if you have...
I do have a question real fast. While we were talking about the plans, how do we know where they will spawn? Like, what impacts whether they'll spawn behind the big wall on our side versus in the river?
Well, they'll always spawn in the river unless it's ocean map.
Okay.
If it's ocean map, they can spawn in jungle as well. But right now there's no map, right? Because no dragons have been taken. So they'll always spawn in river.
Okay.
But yeah, you will have situations here where you want to freeze now, but you are really low and you have no potions. Or you have a lot of gold, so you want to base. What we do then is we trim the wave, we make sure it doesn't crash, but it's still pushing towards us, and we recall as well. What's important is we need to make sure 100% that they are recalling. That's why we stay in lane a bit. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm tilted.
Yeah, I just...
Right, so like when we do this, I want you to at least know why we're doing it, right? So like, if you checked bot lane here and you're like, okay, I'm gonna roam bot lane here. Yeah, I would accept it. It's fine. But you didn't. So you just like saved her lane. See, because now you're late to bot lane to fight. You get what I mean?
Right.
Because you should be thinking right now, as you're dealing with the wave here. See, as you're like pulling it around now, when you're making this decision, whether you should push or freeze, you should be thinking, am I missing out now on a play bot side? Should I instead push and roam bot lane? Or should I freeze?
That's the only way I can make the decisions, by looking at the map and knowing what's going on. And I'm not doing that.
Because now if you decide to freeze now, you shouldn't fucking break your freeze now. Because, like I said earlier, with the cannon wave that was here, you cannot take the cannon wave and roam to bot lane. Okay? Because Kai'Sa is 200 HP, it is going to be too late. You can't now freeze and then break your freeze, push next wave, and then still expect to make it down to bot lane fight. You see this? Fresh has wave built up. They're going to kill this wave. So if enemy bot lane now dies, it's going to be because they get ganked on this wave right now. So you don't have time to get there. Make sense?
Okay. And I guess I just didn't know that I wasn't going to make it in time.
I mean, you don't even Like, look
just
at
don't
it.
know
So
what
like,
I'm doing.
so like now she comes back to lane and she just gets an entire wave for free. When she should have had to try to break this freeze and you would just kill her. See, now she just collects it and her wave is fine.
So why does my character stop when I ping that I'm on my way? Is that something in settings that I can change? Because it's really annoying. Like you'll notice it here. Like I'm running.
I mean, that's because... No, that's just because you clicked here. Look. See? You see this white arrow thing line?
Yeah. Okay.
So you just clicked here, and then now you pinged on your way, but you didn't actually click to go there. See?
Okay. But for some reason, I think that it does make me stop.
I mean, there's a couple things that makes you stop. If you click on somebody and then they go into fog, like let's say for example now you clicked on Jin and he went into a bush, then you will stop moving.
Okay.
Let's say you click on a minion and the minion dies, you will stop moving. Same thing with wards. But nothing with ping, no.
Then that must have been what it is. I click on an enemy champion and then they go out of vision and then it stops me. Okay.
So this roam is good because we're looking, right? Like I said, the decision to push was still fucking bad, but here we get kill on Lee Sin, but then you forget again the rule. Like I said, we are allowed to roam because we crashed this wave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but once this wave now dies and this wave is gonna come to turret, you really want to get back to lane. So remember, we are looking. Now we caught Lee Sin. You cannot expect to kill Jin and Fresh now, because they are willingly walking into you. Okay, so now you should run to mid lane. Instead, you're like running around here trying to get more. Right? Enemy team should not willingly kill themselves here. Right? Enemy mid is gonna have push now as well, so if you choose to fight now, what stops Qiyana from roaming and just collapsing?
Nothing.
Exactly. So get into the habit of just looking. You go here, and you just look for an opportunity, because you have nothing to do in lane right now. Okay, nice, we caught Lee Sin. Good. Now get your ass back to mid. Run mid.
I think in this specific situation, I saw Shaka was on his red. We didn't have lane priority in the bot lane, but I saw that they backed off out of vision.
Yeah,
so I thought maybe we could do dragon, but Shaco's not coming.
I don't care about dragon if I'm losing 2 waves in mid. We can do dragon whenever. Like what? If I go back to mid now, what stops me from just pushing and then we can do dragon? Nothing. Right? I have full control of my lane. So just return to lane. Your job is not to do dragon here. Your job is to keep Qiyana in lane and win your lane. That's your job.
Okay.
So you kill this in, run back to mid lane now, so that you can either again freeze or push. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Because by doing this, one, if you start dragon now, it's complete disaster, because Kai'Sa cannot come. Qiyana now will push this and she will be able to move. And then Fresh and Jin will be able to collapse. And now you just created a coin flip 3v3 for no reason.
And I think my teammates realized that and I didn't.
Yeah. But you don't realize this because you are, like I said, you're not in the mindset of looking. We shouldn't be in the mindset of, oh, I'm going to roll now and get pentakill. No. We shouldn't even expect Lee Sin to die. Like, look, you think this is normal what Lee Sin does? Look, he sees you now go missing, and he just runs straight path to you. Right? Everything you do here is fine, because if, I assume at least, if Lee Sin doesn't show here now, then you're just going to go back to mid and push. At least that's what I'm hoping you would. But now you see Mint, so you kill him. Cool. But Fresh and Jin now knows you're here, so you should just go to mid now.
Should I have taken blue buff in that?
No, it would take you too much long.
Like, yeah, I didn't think I could kill it fast enough.
Because if you kill it, you would lose midwave. And again, like I said, by losing midwave here, what stops Qiyana from just running top, diving Kale with Poppy? What stops her from going to bot and killing Kai'Sa? You need to get your ass back to mid now. So you can trade with Qiyana, keep her from, like, stop her from roaming. You're spending too much time doing nonsense. get back to mid. You standing here watching Nami take the ward does nothing. All you're letting is Kiana to roam. We've created complete chaos now. That's not what we want in our games. Nice, we recall, that's good. At this point, I would just swap to sweeper. Like once I'm this fed, I would just swap to sweeper, so I can just push and roam and sweep.
Okay.
Your champion abuses Fog of War really well. So, the only issue with sweeper is we don't have wards, so it's scary to phase check. But that's why I'm mentioning, like, once enemies this weak and I'm so fed, I think you should just go sweeper. So, here, we realize we can freeze, so it's just repeating the same thing, you know? Like, we just make sure that when we decide to freeze here, we are saying, I am not able to move, and Kiana can't win the game. Okay? So again, we have to, while you're now running back to the map, right, back on your lane, you need
Be looking at what's
to
going
look.
on.
Because Kiana can just say, fuck it here, and just go bot lane. So understand, is that possible by her? Does she have ulti? Does she have the damage? Does her teammates want to do this? Right, in 30 seconds, Kai'Sa will be under turret. Will she be diveable by you doing this? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because for, like I said, 1v1, this freeze is really good. We have full topside river vision, so if Kayle dies to Kiana, then she's bad. So the freeze is good for topside at least. I think it's relatively fine for bot. You should be trimming the wave a bit though. Like just making it not be this big. So that's what you're doing now, that's good. But like I said, like this is like the worst you can do. You know? Because if she starts to roam, you can't start to push now. Why didn't we push in the first place then? Because let's say now she goes on your bot lane and kills them. She can just run mid now, and then collect the farm. You know? You should keep the freeze now unless you want to do your own play. But if you wanted to do your own play, then why didn't we enter the lane and just start pushing immediately? You get it? I'm pretty sure she ulted as well, like 40 seconds ago. So like, if your bot lane dies here, they're just really bad. And we shouldn't play around our teammates being that bad, because then you can't do anything in the game.
My duo was the ADC. I think that was why I was trying to play around bot so much this game.
Yeah, but then why don't you push here? Then you get roam timer and she doesn't. Right? If you're Kiana now and you start to go missing here, and you see Kiana's you see Ekko is hard pushing. If you commit to the roam now, you lose 2 plates in mid. If you're Kiana. And Ekko will be able to follow your roam 10 seconds after you. You see what I mean? But you're always making the choice to freeze, and then you just break your freeze randomly. That's so fucking bad. Because then you don't get to be proactive. Being proactive would be getting into his lane and then immediately hard pushing. Because now if you go missing, who's the lane pushing to right now?
It's Kiana.
Yeah, so you will just lose creeps. And now she just goes and she pushes again, so now she has the choice. If she dies, it's going to be because she ints. If she doesn't die, she now crashes 2 waves and she can roam again. So leaving the lane like you did is just so fucking bad. Nice. One thing I would try to do first here, like, look now. Again, waves create everything in this game. Okay? You see one guy here, dead. and you see everyone else here. Can they kill you if you stand here?
No.
No. So, proxy the wave. You see now the wave coming? See this one? You should be here right now and queuing and one-shotting this wave. League is all about waves. If you kill this wave, you could TP bot lane, and you could get this wave, but also mid wave. By getting mid wave, you can run around and be AFK without losing anything. You see what I mean?
Makes sense.
Because I think teleporting bot is fine. Like, it's a free minion, like free cannon wave, and you get to keep them here and fight them. Obviously, Fresh should not kill himself. That's his fault. But I think TPing bot is not horrible. It also lets Kai'Sa re-enter lane. My issue with it is I think you could have killed this wave and done the exact same thing. You know?
And that's because I wasn't thinking about the minion wave and proxying.
Yeah.
No, obviously it hasn't.
I would never help with Dragon here. Again, like, if I leave the wave like this, and I go take Drake, what do I have to do after Dragon?
I have to go back and try to crash it or collect the wave.
Exactly. While if I push the wave now, and then go to Dragon, I can just recall after. And I can get Sork Shoes. Right?
Right.
I could roam bot lane after. Point is, I can do things. Now I can't do things. Why do you want to help with Dragon? Look, what happened? Why are we doing Dragon? Qiyana is dead. Cool. So can enemy team contest Dragon?
No.
No. So why are you helping? Right? Push mid lane. Push mid here. Then you can go help Dragon if you want. But don't leave like this unless there is immediate thing you need to do here. Right? If Shaco's fighting here, obviously you just leave mid now and you go help him. That's fine. Nothing is going on. Why are you helping? Why do you choose to lose unless you're needed? I would not be fine losing a single minion in my lane unless I have to. Makes no sense to move here. Qiyana is dead. We are 4v3 on Dragon if enemy chooses to fight. Why would enemy choose to fight when they are outnumbered? I don't know, but they shouldn't. We have vision, so if I see them come, I can move as well. Pushing this would take me 5 seconds. So please push before you fucking move. Unless you are immediately needed. Here you're choosing to lose farm. To get something you could otherwise get. And also you lose the chance to roam to bot lane. Because you would be done with this wave now. And you could just roam and do whatever. So you could actually commit on this without losing any single minions. Because I don't mind fighting this. This is a good fight. They chose to fight 4v3. My problem is we are losing minions for no reason.
See, I think in just thinking back to games that I play, like I think what I end up doing is in scenarios where I don't come to help with Dragon and I just push lane and try to take tower plates.
Why would you take plates?
Because I'm being greedy and selfish and not caring about...
That's not what I'm telling you to do, though. I'm saying...
Right
now, Qiyana's dead. Agree?
Agree.
Okay. If you walk up now and you push this mini wave, then 2 things will happen. 1, enemy team will go to Dragon. Or 2, they will be humans and understand that the game is 4v3 right now and they should not go for Dragon. So, if you see that they don't come to Dragon, then you can do turret plays, you can recall, you can do whatever you want. But if you see them on wards moving up, right? You have, by the way, you have information letting you know if they're contesting Dragon. Like, let's say Kai'Sa now pushes this, and you don't see them catch their bot wave. Then that might know that, okay, they're going for Dragon. If Shaco's doing Dragon, he will be here, correct? He has a ward here, showing vision. You will see people before they even go to Dragon. Yeah, you need to get permabanned if you're sitting here hitting plates while Shaco's fighting people on Dragon. But my point is, you can push this while you're fucking looking and seeing, and then you will see Lee Sin contesting, and then you can decide to go there after you pushed. Right? Shaco's doing blue buff now. If he dies now, is that your fault?
No.
No. It makes no sense to die here. He has ulti, he has Q up. If he dies, he's fucking bad. You can't just run around babysitting him. You'll never get anything done then. You need to push your lane now. See? Lee Sin is on wolves. Why do you need to be here? So just push, and then you can start running and hovering your teammates after you pushed. Why would you go for plates now? There's 3 out of 5 plates left, which means these plates are really tanky. All you should do is one-shot this wave, go into this river, recall here. By recalling here, you're able to cancel your recall if they come to contest, or you can cancel it to go and dive bot lane if you see an angle. And if nothing happens, you guys got dragon and you get sword shoes in base. But if we can't get sword shoes in base, and we can't roam, and we can't do anything without losing minions because you decided to help an uncontested dragon. Look, Jhin is farming bot lane. Now you need to leave mid lane. See? Look, once you see now Jhin walks up like this, that's when you leave mid lane. But then you would have pushed. But like this, you didn't push. So now FF. Because now we're just losing for no reason. Like, we still get kills, which is good. I don't mind that. I mind that our CS is shit while we're getting kills. Because you could have had perfect CS and gotten every single kill in this game. After this, recall. Look your gold. By staying now, you are choosing to recall at a bad time. So what I mean is that how League works is when we do a play like this, everyone has used their mana and their ulti and everything, right? So your teammates wants to recall. When your teammates are in base, can they die?
No.
Great, so that's your best time to recall, right? So, look now. When I recall now, my teammates cannot int. Shaco has all his jungle up to farm. My Kai'Sa and Nami hasn't based yet and they're low on mana and we just did fucking pentakill. So they obviously want to base. So even though, yeah, I can stay because I have HP and mana, you're choosing now to stay and recall at a time where your teammates are on the map. That's bad. Why would you recall when your team is on the map fighting? See? Your teammates are in base now. You could be running back to lane, spending your gold. Instead, now you have to lane with so much gold. And now you're in base when your teammates are on the map. Exactly like I said. What's the point in that? See?
No point.
You gave Kiana now a roam timer. Your Kai'Sa could get dove right now. You can't do anything about it. Because you wanted to stay for some reason. So make it a habit that you take free recalls. And I don't know why we left base with so much gold either. That's just troll. Just buy a blasting wand or something. Nice, it's really good. Nice. All of this was really good. But yeah, at this point the game is just over. I don't think there's anything to look at after that, unless you remember something you want to look at.
No, I think it's just a steamroll in the FF.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know your damage relatively good, which is good because that's very important to know, right, as a one trick. But I just think you have a couple habits that you just need to change. And if you change those, your games will just be a lot easier.
So typically, well, one thing I wanted to say was like in the mid game, like after you get people get their first full item or first tower falls. I usually tell my bot lane to go mid and let me side lane into the bot lane, but more often than not in silver elo, bot laners just don't want to listen. They just like, no, I'm gonna keep running down bot lane, and I'll even say like, okay, well, when I see an ADC in the bot lane by themselves as an assassin, I say, oh, free kill.
Yeah.
And
then you have to push
literally
mid and go
like
to bot.
yeah, because it's the shortest lane. They're safer in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And
how it works is like, if they're gonna troll you and run bot, then you have to push mid and run bot.
okay,
Like, the way the map is meant to work now, when your ADC goes mid, you are meant to push bot and then go mid.
right.
And then push bot again, you go mid again. Right? Just to hover around in jungle, look for picks and stuff.
Steal their jungle.
Yeah.
Etc.
Now it's the same thing, just that your ADC is here, you push mid, and then you go here. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Nothing else than that. If they want to troll you, you have to do the most you can with that. But yeah, rest of this game is like whatever, because now you just win, and I think what you're doing now is like fine. So I think only thing is like, you should realize that right now this game is so fucking like over, right? And you don't actually need this turret. What I mean by that is, you can take this turret whenever you want. I think you have more value now taking their entire jungle and this. Okay? By doing that, you secure more gold and EXP for yourself, you deny enemy more, and you get to join the middle of the map, which means maybe you can get more kills. Because you're not going to end the game through bot lane now. So there's no point to remove this turret.
Okay.
Because this turret you could take whenever. I would rather take this turret knowing that I've cleared their entire bot side and mid wave, rather than now losing mid wave and not getting these camps. And also maybe missing out on a Jhin kill, because if you did what I said, you could go on Jhin now. Because this turret you would get whenever you want anyways.
I think I just keep pushing bot and take the inhibitor. Or no. Maybe I ain't.
I don't think there's possible to die here.
I don't know. I kill them both.
Yeah. But what I mean, right? It's like, that's cool, but what does this do? Right? This didn't end the game, you know?
Right.
So, I just want us to end the game. And by doing that, we just push and we take everything we can get from them.
And see, this brings up another point of mine, is that I don't know if like maybe on my other account, but like there's so many games where I'll have a huge lead and then end up throwing it in the mid game or late game because of like one bad play, give the enemy team like 1,000 gold shutdown, and then just let them catch up.
Yeah, when you do those mistakes, you should just review them, because you're not doing that mistake in this game. So it's hard for me to tell, right? But you're recording your games with low-key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then when you do those mistakes, like, just look at them yourself, because they should be really obvious. Like, are you dashing
in? What is low-key?
It's like a program that automatically records your games. Low-key.
Okay, GG. I've been using Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, whatever.
Them, but what is? I didn't know there was other options.
Yeah, you should download Low-key GG. It's really good.
Low-key GG. Okay.
Yeah, it just like automatically records your games. All right. Do you have any questions?
So I guess in those, specifically in those game scenarios, because it happens a lot, we'll get a lead, we'll take inhibitor, and then my teammates will just start AFK farming in jungle. They won't group for objectives. They'll think, oh hey, Ekko will 1v9 or whatever, and then I lose a lot of games because of that, because I don't know how to. Like, how do I win that game when my four teammates aren't pressuring another lane or contesting an objective, and if I try to split push, then I just get 5-man collapsed on.
Well, you be patient. You get Sweeper and you create Fog of War. And you try to make picks. You play with the
Okay.
info you have. Like, let's say you did push out a wave, this guy catches a wave here, and then maybe you can catch this guy. You know, you just run around and be patient. The worst thing you can get is Desperate. If you get Desperate, now you do int plays. Because you're not making plays anymore that make sense, you're making plays that you want to do. You know?
Okay.
You feel forced to do it. That's bad.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like most players in my elo just want to play like 50-minute matches where everybody has level 18 and full builds, and then just do a coin flip, team fight in the mid, Abraham and.
Yeah, but the thing is, enemy team, like let's say you've taken this inhib, right? Enemy team can't just sit in their base. That's not possible. They have to come out for Baron, right? Even if you're actually not doing Baron, because I know how low elo is, your teammates might refuse to do Baron. Okay, but even if you're not doing Baron, enemy team doesn't know that you're not doing Baron, correct?
Correct.
So if you're that fed, what stops you from just having Sweeper and just like creating Fog of
hide,
War?
Wait in a bush for somebody to come for like a buff or creep?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's impossible to win League if you're just in your base. It's just not possible. Because if enemy jungler is... if enemy team is farming this and taking this and farming all of this, and you're just sitting here, you're just losing. So some guy has to walk out of base. So you just have to be patient. You know? Hello?
Yeah. I think that's my problem. Is sometimes I'll just try to bend the game to my
yes.
bend the game to my will.
Like what you're doing. What you're doing now, for example. What you're doing now, I think is crazy. Like, look where Nami is. Look where Kale is. Look where Shaco is. Okay. When Kai'Sa sees her 11 and 1 Ekko do this, do you think she feels like she should leave you, or do you think she wants to help you?
He wants to help me because...
Right. So you guys are now choosing to 2v5. Because Kiana can easily run up here now. And you're deciding that now you're going to take this turret. Why do you want to take this turret now? When you can take the turret whenever you want. This is 2Es and it's dead. So why do you want to take the turret now when your Shaco is here, Kale is here, Nami is here? Instead of just... So you pushed, right? Yeah. So now, why don't you instead push... Go take blue buff, or push, go meet up with Kale in mid and go for dragon.
I think I get my Kai'Sa killed here too.
Yeah, I don't care what happened. You could get pentakill here 2v5 for all I care. It's a bad play.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happens. If you die, yeah, it's fucking obvious. You should always die here. But even if this somehow worked, it's still a bad play because you're choosing to go for low chance play. You could just leave now. Taking this turret does nothing. So you should just leave and just go mid, push mid, go get dragon, go look for picks, go group up with your team. Right? If Shaco wants to clear his entire jungle now, let him, and then after that he will come with you. But why would you force it now? What does taking this turret right now compared to in a minute do? Right?
In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if we're just farming, that's giving the enemy team time to catch up.
But they're not catching up, because they're not farming. Look. Look what Shaco and Kale is doing. They're farming your jungle. What is enemy team doing? They have no fucking jungle. They're not catching up. They're not doing shit. And even if you think that they are, you taking this does not stop them from farming.
Okay.
Kale is securing levels right now on farming. Nice. That's good. Shaco, I don't know what he's doing. Probably trying to do the same. Nami just came from base. You have all bot camps up. They have nothing. You won the game and you're choosing to do this. This does not end the game. Now Kai'Sa's dead and you should die too. Especially if Lee Sin was human. If Lee Sin just R-flashed you there, you were just dead. Now Kai'Sa's dead and you have no ulti. Now the likeliness of winning a Baron fight or Drake fight is a lot lower for no reason. And as you could see, after Shaco was done taking topside, he came to help. So why didn't you just wait for him? Why didn't you just go farm your jungle while your team was not here? Instead of trying to go for fights like this. See, now Kale and everyone is here. Isn't it 10 times easier to play now?
Mm-hmm.
So wait for it. You see on your minimap that they're not here. Yet you're playing as if they are. And that's why you're losing random games in late game. Because you're not fucking patient. Poor Anthony.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I got to go after this. Even though we won, he's like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. So I think, conclusion, understand your matchups a little bit better. Like I said, Kiana is very weak when her W is on cooldown, and even weaker when both WQ is on cooldown, obviously. Check what items they start is very important. And make it a habit that when you have a roam timer, you don't roam with the mindset of, oh, I need to kill them here. No. My goal is just to look, so that if they int, yeah, I will kill them. If they're playing like they should, I'll just go mid and push again, or freeze, or do whatever I think is the best. Okay?
Alright.
And then get more patient, like play better with fog and just wait, and always check the map before you're doing things. This is why it's such an important fundamental, because what I'm telling you to do when you've recall and running back on the map, right? Like checking your map and everything and seeing where everyone is, what's going on. That's the same fundamental that you need to do now in late game. Right? It's the same logic. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't think League is that complicated, even though it might sound complicated. It really isn't, because you're repeating the same things over and over at different stages of the game. That's why if you nail down on these fundamentals, the game becomes very simple.
Makes sense. I think it's just because, autopilot, queuing without really thinking, not understanding the fundamentals, like you say.
Yeah, so I think the way you can learn this is just continue playing like you are right now, but setting like a goal of like one thing, like just focus on one thing, because it's gonna take a lot of thinking to learn all of this immediately. So that's impossible. But you should just queue up and just be like, okay, for the next 50 games now or whatever, I'm just gonna strictly work on the habit of checking every like lane state and thinking about where my jungler is and what my team wants to do while I'm hitting this wave or while I'm running back to my lane and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you feel like you've gotten good at that, then you can move on to, okay, I'll make sure to always, when I'm roaming, always be in the mindset of just looking for something instead of trying to force a play. And then you can move on to something else, Just one step at a time. That's how you build habits.
Right.
So I'll stop the recording here and